I have a new prototype today. I have the critter cannons. I don't remember playing with these on this account before, but we're going to be talking a little bit about them. So critter cannon Mark II, first let's go over the stats. 2000 HP, they only spawn critters. That's the only source of damage you'll get, critters. So take that with a grain of salt. And then about a third of the HP of a normal tank. So really not that good. But we're going to be trying them out against real player bases and seeing if we can get some wins. I really don't think so, but we're going to try my hardest. This one, we might be able to get a win on this base. We have 3 tank-like prototroops. We have their critter cannons, the laser beams, and the mortar one. I can't think of the name for some reason. That's going to drive me crazy. Rainmaker. We have the Rainmaker. Now, out of those, the ranking of those based on how good they are, Rainmaker is number 1. Honestly, I would put the Critter Cannons number 2, Lasertrons number 3. Lasertrons, I really don't like them. I don't think they're that good. Critter Cannons aren't that good either. However, if each of them are spawning 7 critters, I need to see how frequent they fire first. So it actually doesn't say how many bursts, but I would say it's probably like once every 5-ish seconds. So once every 5 seconds, they're gonna fire and they spawn 7 critters each. Honestly, not the greatest, not the greatest. So I don't think they're gonna work too well. However, you know, we're gonna try. So I'm gonna try spreading them out this time. I do have a hero to help get me a little bit of health, and they're gonna spawn a lot. I mean, we have 8 total, spawning 7 each. That's 56 critters that they're gonna spawn. If it's every 5 seconds, it's every 5 seconds, but let's count here. It's definitely more than 5 seconds. It's probably more like every 10 seconds, which is pretty good. And you can see the line of critters. Obviously, the shock launcher, the rocket launcher, I cannot think of words for some reason right now. The rocket launcher, the shock launcher couldn't really kill many critters off the beginning, so I was able to kind of accumulate a nice little stash, and we're just walking through the base. Let's just spawn more critters in to help. We can just have a critter swarm right now. I love it. So definitely not as good as the Rainmaker. The Rainmaker is just a really good prototroop, and when the Rainmaker comes out, I think a lot of players use them. I don't know if high-level leaderboard players use them, but I know they make my life a lot easier on my starting over account, especially when we get Rainmakers. When the critter cannons come out, I don't feel the same way. I don't feel like top players use them. I don't feel like I would dominate as a low-level player or a mid-level player now. I just don't think they're that good. And if we look at some of these top-level players, here's a player that has all critter cannons, but I think that might be just to save gold, because I betcha that it's the most expensive troop combination you can load up. So they're just doing that to save gold. And I think same for the Scorcher player. So, I mean, a lot of it is just bombardiers. Now this is interesting. They have 1 boat of riflemen. Then you had 3 boats of critter cannons. It's a little bit different, I would say, when you have maxed out landing crabs and you can put 2 in each boat. You literally double the amount of critters you can spawn in. So they're spawning in 112 critters like every 10 seconds. So definitely a big difference than when you have 1 in each boat. So consider that if you're thinking about using the critter cannons. They're probably better at a high level than at a low level. So I guess the question we should be asking ourselves is this troop good at any level? Now you get them at a pretty low level, and critters at a low level are really good. And I would say their attack rate probably doesn't change between levels. Usually troops, I don't think any troop attack rate changes when you upgrade them. So I would say it stays consistent. It's probably like every 8 or 10 seconds. I think the number of critters it's spawning is the only thing that does change. And at a low level, I could probably see them going down to like 4 critters at the lowest. But even then, if you have 1 in each boat, or maybe you only have 6 boats, that is 4 times 6, 24 critters. That's not very good. That's not very good. Granted, if you're that low, you probably don't have players that look like this. However, you probably still do have some pretty tough players. So I would probably give it a no at a super low level. I'm talking like level maybe HQ 14, 15, or maybe more like 16. It's going to be tough for you because you're still attacking players that are level 60s. You just have to defeat them. So I would probably give them a no at that level. But at my level, you can see I'm doing pretty good. So obviously there's some switch where when you pass it, you're doing better when you load up all Rainmakers. And it's not when you have 2 in each boat, because obviously I just destroyed this level 61 using all critter cannons. So there's some point, some HQ between probably like when you unlock them super low level up until HQ 20 that they start becoming good. I don't know what that is because I would have to be experimenting with each level, but I would probably say it's maybe like HQ 16 it starts getting really good, or maybe HQ like 17 it starts getting really good for you. So I would probably hold off on that, but maybe there's a point where if you're just so low, HQ 12 or something, they start becoming good at that level. I think HQ 13 is level 32 when you unlock smoke. I would think you would get this at that level, but you might not have the laning craft space. So because they're 16 space each, like that's not small, that's pretty large. I think that's 5 levels under what I currently have, which is an HQ 20 max, which is probably level 20 laning crabs. So honestly, probably around like HQ 15 is when you can actually use them, when you have enough space in your laning craft. And probably HQ 18 is when they start becoming decent. Okay, enough about this, There's definitely a point, but after you get them, and you're an HQ 21 like me, they're obviously doing something to this base. Now, is it gonna beat every base? Probably not. Like, you can see me sort of struggle on this base, and I honestly might not be able to defeat this base simply because of the amount of health he has. Like, he has 3 health statues there, 2 more up there. That's a lot of HP, a lot of extra HP. And keep in mind that critters don't do a lot of damage. So can you use them at any level? You can, but at a low level, they might not work as well. And when players have a lot of ice, they won't work as well. Contrast that to the Melon Bombardiers. Can you use the Melon Bombardiers at any level? The answer is yes. And I would probably argue the same with the Rainmakers. They're just 2 very good proto troops. But you can't, like, you can use them probably against players that have all ice. That's how good they are. But not the Rainmakers. Or sorry, not the critter cannons. The critter cannons are getting slaughtered here. We can't even take down this little flamethrower. Shows you how different this troop is versus other troops. Now I could probably drop a shock, you know, get a nice little critter army down. However, I need to think about the best way to use my energy. Maybe if we drop it here, actually. The issue is that there's shock launchers that are shocking my critters. There's rocket launchers in the back destroying my critters very fast. There's machine guns, flamethrowers, there's mortars. All of this stuff is pretty much one-shotting my critters. So we're not able to make any progress into this base, even though we're spawning like 50 critters every 8 seconds. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously not going to beat this. We're not going to have enough time. I spent a minute taking down 1 flamethrower, so let's retreat. Not a base I can defeat. Too much HP. There's no point in me continuing to attack it if I know I'm going to fail. So let's find someone a little bit easier, and by easier, I mean someone that doesn't have 7 or 6 ice statues. Find a new opponent. No loot. This guy has loot. This guy has loot. Low amounts of ice. We'll take it. We'll try to take it from him. Alright, we'll get critters down to take out all these boom mines. 1 more. And hopefully we'll get off this beach. I actually think that the rocket launchers are the biggest threat to this combination. Just because their range is so long, they are able to hit you literally across the map, and they deal a lot of damage to critters. So especially when this guy has boost, or not boosted, but an ice statue, that's gonna hurt me as well. So I'm just gonna spend my energy barraging down these rocket launchers, and hopefully that will make a difference. I think I'll probably have similar issues as the last base. Even though this guy's a lot less ice, there's still a lot of health, and these shock launchers are not helping. So let's shock the shock launchers, try to get off the beach a little bit, just get a nice swarm of critters. If you're able to get a nice swarm, you're sitting in a really good place. But I've not been able to get a nice swarm of critters in a long time. You know, I might have to take back what I said about them being good at this level. I'm just not seeing that. I can use a lot of combinations to defeat this base. Trust me, a lot of combinations. And this is not, it's seemingly not one of them. Now, I still might be able to defeat this base. However, it's really not looking great. I'm having a really hard time. Getting enough critters down to deal significant damage. I mean, I'm getting enough down to distract for sure, but I'm not able to get enough down to do significant damage. So I'm just not seeing the troop that is very usable right now. And this is a pretty easy base. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of combinations I can use to defeat this base. I can probably defeat this base using heavies and hookah, just walking through the base, not even a smoky hookah combination. And I can't even use it with this. I just don't think that's a strong combination. So that's why I brought up that combination in particular. I don't think it's a very strong combination. However, a lot of people use that at a low level, and that is fine. But once you get up higher, it's not the best. Okay, you know what? Let's get some riflemen down, because riflemen, I can get, I think 16 down. They'll just deal damage. They'll be the only troop down that deals damage, and it'll help me kind of get troops out. So I think I actually will be able to defeat this base, because all of this splash really is taken out, and now we're taking down the shock launchers, the shock blaster, and I'm going to do a reflare up here. Just so I can get all of these critters hitting the core, because I think I do have enough time, and all the splash is taken out, and we're gonna have a nice little army to attack the core and take it out. So I did not expect to take down this base, let me tell you. But look at that, that's so many critters. But I'm very, very happy I did, because that was a pain to attack, but we did a very good job. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think to the question, can these be used at any level? I would have to say no. Very hard no. And tell me what level you think they become good at. If you're a low level player, let me know your level and if they are good. And I will talk to you guys in the next Boom Beach video. Bye guys.